Yeah,
And it
from
really
here,
didn't.
he's a surgeon, yeah.
Yeah. So it's things like that, or even things like through the way a character plays, you can have an idea of who this character is and misconceptions. One of my favorite story of that is Carvos in the Stone Obelisk.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's your story. Proceed to tell it.
You know this is a good story.
It's a great story.
It's
Yeah.
a great story, but oh my god.
When you have the entire group face palming and saying, "Oh God," you know it's gonna be good. So
So
take it away, Crash.
Carvos is my barbarian. He wields a maul, and the maul is essentially a stick with a chunk of metal on
It's
the end
a
of it.
huge hammer. It's
Yeah.
a sledgehammer
With a
for
slightly bigger
combat.
hammer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a place that has the gap and a food court.
It's I'm gonna hurt you with this. And where they originally met Carvos was purchased. They didn't meet Carvos. Oren was playing a character who purchased Carvos because I was a slave, I was a prisoner, and essentially going to be executed because I was too unruly to be sold into slavery. Think of Arnold in Conan. Well, that's pretty, with long blonde hair, and that's pretty much where we're going on
Think
this.
any reincarnation of Conan.
Mhm.
Think Conan in general. That was Carvos.
But
yeah,
I look like a
skinny, red hair, had a night show.
no. I look essentially. I look like a bodybuilder with a sledgehammer.
Isn't Carvos a half orc?
No, Carlos is human.
He's human.
Okay.
Human with 1897 strength.
Oh no, you're half orc. No.
Oz is a half orc.
Yeah, but he's not a barbarian, is he?
No, he's just a fighter.
You play him like a barbarian.
Playing like a barbarian.
Okay. That's why I'm getting confused.
Carlos is the barbarian. So
Uh-huh.
so he is right off the bat. The reason he is in jail, simple. He and a bunch of other barbarians sailed up on this town thinking it was weak, and their plan was to rape and pillage their way through it.
And
The
steal
town
all
put-
the pies.
The town put up a little bit more of a defense
Pies.
than Carvos and his comrades were expecting. Carvos was the only survivor in prison. They wanted to figure out what to do with him. Nobody could figure it out. So, Oren offers to essentially buy me. They go, okay, he buys me, uncuffs me, and essentially goes, I might not look it, but I can kill you. You're going to help us.
He has a very select set of skills.
So,
They involve killing, maiming,
So-
and
okay.
making your life.
And,
unpleasant.
you know, Carvos, for as much as he's a, raping and pillaging barbarian, has a sense of honor. This man saved his life, so he was in service to him.
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Oh,
think about it
life
like a
debt.
Chewbacca,
Life
debt.
debt.
So, we go through
Ooh, my own Wookiee's life.
the few things, and the way I've been playing Carvos is, he's dumb, he's stupid, but he hits like a tank.
He is the essentially the AD&D version of a brick.
Dumb, but will kill everything in his path.
He's dumb as a sack of hoe handles. He's not the dim bulb in the box. He's the broken one.
Oh, a
But-
woman. I'm going to take her for
But-
my own.
That was
We
a conflict.
there was the whole thing was the two-headed,
Even that's sophisticated
the
to say for
two-headed
Carlos.
This isn't
skeleton,
gonna work out.
the two-headed skeleton which killed me, and a bunch of other things.
Oh, yeah, the skeletal giant, yeah.
And I tried to take a prisoner, a female prisoner that I didn't know was a witch, but was actually a witch, and essentially put her over my shoulder and claimed dibs.
Yeah, that was a conflict.
Oh dear.
I
Yeah.
don't think Lucky knew about that one.
I did not actually.
Arthur knows about that one.
Also, too,
Yeah.
a side note about Carvos was, I believe, I forget what character I was running, but he had set traps around a little camp area or whatever because we were expecting company to come rolling on through. Now, my traps were able to kind of capture at least 2 or 3 of them, and then Carvos says, I'll take care of them. My character didn't want them dead, but apparently Carvos wanted to play Pinata.
Wait. Those were not your traps.
No, they weren't.
Those were Dexter's traps.
Those were Dexter's traps.
He set them before he left, but you were trying to parlay with the monsters in question.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
While Carvos wandered off in the forest and played Pinata with their
It's really
captured
hard
bodies.
to parlay
Thud.
with a bunch
Thud.
of few orcs. Well, they're hearing the person parlaying's comrade, over in the forest and the screams of their friends.
yeah.
No, don't. Claw thud.
Now back to, not judging a book by its cover. So this is the way I played Carvos. So we messed up. Not gonna go into a
Big
huge
time.
story, but we messed up big time and dropped the ball on a thing we needed to do to beat these 3 witches.
Yeah.
So I decided we're gonna go back to the stone obelisk, and I had my ball in my hand, and I walked up to the obelisk.
And we're all freaking out.
Everybody's freaking
no.
out. They thought I was.
He's gonna smash
They
it.
legitimately thought I was just gonna walk up, take a huge mighty swing, and smash it. I walk up, drop my maul on the ground, get on my knees, and bow to it, and I'm like, "Oh, great and mighty stone God, please forgive us for our mistakes, and grant us your wisdom one more time." And then Smiley, who was DMing, looks at me with the most jaw on the floor.
Everybody
What
at the table's jaw drop when this happened. It's like, what?
And Smiley looks at me, takes a few seconds, and he goes, "The obelisk speaks." Continue. So I continue to praise it like a deity, as I'm not that smart, and this obelisk talks. It must be a god.
Yeah.
It's a rock. It doesn't have a vulnerable spot.
So I ask it for its help one more time, and he gives us the information and the will to complete our quest after we botched it the first time.
Right.
I complete it, walk away, and as I walk away, in character, everybody turns and looks at Carvos like, "The hell? I thought you were gonna smash it. Why would I smash it? It's a great and powerful god." And
I think I was there for that part.
And then, we take a few minutes out of game, or I think the session might have ended.
Well, after we were done laughing, and
But there was a lot of laughter and a lot of looks my way, like,
I
did
think-
you just...
I think it's because up until that point, you played characters that were the incarnate of raw, utter.
This character.
Fuck you!
This
Fuck
character.
you!
I nicknamed this character Carvos the Brutal because that's all he basically did.
Yeah.
He wanted to be violent. He wanted to rape and pillage all the time. And
But I was not aligned evil, because it's not evil to me. I grew up with it in my culture.
I was gonna say,
yeah, you started out chaotic evil and worked your way towards chaotic good.
neutral. No, I'm not even
Somewhere.
good yet. I'm still neutral.
But yeah, you were working your way through alignments in that way, where your character was changing as personal growth.
yeah.
Damn it! You made me laugh.
But he was not somebody we expected, great things out of. He had a thing.
oh,
When you guys made me laugh, I dropped my jaw eraser into the water bottle, and it's stuck now.
are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is one of those cameo moments that are hilarious.
Ugh.
There you go.
Oh, did you get it? Okay.
Sorry about the fourth wall breaking moment there.
No worry. What fourth wall at this point?
It lets, to be honest, these podcasts don't have a fourth wall.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
actually, for those that don't know what the fourth wall is, the fourth wall is normally your DM, your GM, your ZM, whatever terminal, your game boss will have a
Screen.
what's called the Dungeon Master screen. Essentially, that's called the fourth wall.
It's a bunch of tables and stuff, and it's raised, so players can't look at what the Dungeon Master's writing and what his roles are and all
Right.
that stuff.
And also is a place to burn bad comics.
I don't know. The
Uh,
fourth wall, and I find this odd, you being in a theater, is that theoretical fourth wall between, people in the audience, and
Yep.
now,
it's not that kind of thing here, so I don't...
It's, the fourth
hard to
wall
say
has
what
different meanings depending on where you are.
but again, now, yeah, there's a moment where Carvos the Brutal, he murders and rapes and pillages. However, he worships and prays giant stone golems and gives the party a second chance when people much smarter than him screwed up. And leave it to the idiot of the group to save the day.
You know what?
Way to go, Caboose.
Sometimes... Sometimes it takes the idiot to save the village. Come on.
No, you're right. You're better than Caboose. You're donut.
I want to be Caboose again.
I'm surprised you guys held on to it that long. I was gonna do it earlier, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait.
Now, there are other things that are tricky that involve creating a character, and that's you want to try to avoid in a group having a character that outshines everybody else. Because then everybody else gets upset at you and probably starts secretly planning ways to eliminate you.
No, we haven't done that. No.
I'm usually
I
not
beg
secret
your
about any
pardon.
plots I have on
Silver
people.
horseshoe.
In fact, I believe you ran a character near the start of Trinity, or at least my start in Trinity, where you were playing a character based on a character in a book who was an elf that was so racist that he was intolerable, and neutral good or not, I was planning on killing you in your sleep.
Well, yeah, Taos, the intolerable racist
It's like,
elf.
you son of a bitch.
I think we should just leave Taos off the map for now.
No, that's not
I
Taos.
really do not want to assault half of the world, though.
Let's just.
I agree. There was a point where I, as the player, had a serious hate for Smiley because he'd luck out and roll the dice for divvying magic items and stuff, and then there's Lucky getting the potion that, okay, that's great, my magic item is a potion of healing, which is great because I didn't have a lot of health, but everyone else is getting the armor, the shields, the swords, the magic
Bracers.
arrows, the bracers of
AC5 that now made me AC3.
yeah, it just,
Yeah.
for example, do we even want to go into the disappearing cloak of displacement?
We'll let Smiley describe that one.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Smiley can still talk about that. Slash is not allowed to talk about it because he pulled something similar where he jacked an item that essentially my character had been carting it around the whole time, using it.
Yep.
At the time, he went through a few characters, didn't have a character to use it. And then when divvying time came around, he showed up with a character that could use it, and I lost it.
And what we're talking about, for everyone who doesn't know, is at the end of an adventure, all the magical items collected are
Not always the end of an
at a
adventure.
point in an
Yeah.
adventure. All the magical items that are collected are divvied out among everybody. Some people may have used armors or weapons and stuff, but it's divvied out because different magical items have experience bonuses and may be useful to certain people.
Mhm.
So what you do is you roll a d20, and by that rolls you determine who picks first.
Yeah, highest goes first.
Yeah.
Lowest goes last, but the advantage of going as the lowest is you get to pick twice if there's a lot of items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the admonishment there that certain people would pick items
purely based
beyond the meta knowledge,
on
on
the
based of experience, and not based on, well,
What
what would
their
my
character
character
would
want
want.
or
For
need.
example, we're not going to name who it may have been, but there was an issue with 2 mages, a fighter, and a spellbook. The fighter
Yeah.
was hinting that he wanted the spellbook out of character because the spellbook was a legit spellbook and it was worth
Well,
a crap ton
Okay.
of XP.
also, I wanted it be like I'm not ashamed to say that it was me
Yeah,
that wanted it because
but
of
you
the
can
XP.
know magic.
I also wanted it because I wanted to just rip through the first level spells and learn everything.
Yeah, but there's the thing
After
too,
that,
is
After that, you and Sonny could have just taken
He
the
was-
book and had a bonfire if you
You know,
really
this-
wanted. I wouldn't have cared.
this player plays a fighter, so it's like he has no purpose for the spellbook other than to take the XP.
But
and
that's the
we
same
were-
reason why Sonny wanted it.
But we were okay with being like, okay, you take it for the XP, and maybe we'll take an item you want if we roll in a better place.
Yeah.
Like a weapon or a piece of armor.
Yeah.
And then we'll just swap.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
that was
there were some outside
That-
issues
well, that was-
with,
that-
between a couple players that got involved.
yeah, that was the
Right.
agreement I tried to make with Sonny.
But to be fair, it turned into, well, what if I just don't give the book back? And then it turned into, well, then I'll just burn you alive in your sleep. And so be very careful when it comes to this. Don't.
Well, see,
If
that's
you
the thing.
want it, take it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't take it for the explicit purpose of not letting another party member
Yeah.
take it.
Remember, Al, names weren't named for that particular situation, right?
Yeah. Well, and also
Until they.
this is why in my realm and when I run my game, I specifically stated to players right at the very beginning,
Yeah, you were earmarking stuff
you
based on our characters.
yeah, basically it's like, okay, there's this item. It is applicable to this character, and this character because they can either actually use the item or it's available for their class or it's something specifically that character's going to strive for. For example, a spell book. A fighter is not going to want a spell book because they have no godly use for it other
No
than
means of reading it, for that matter.
Well, yeah, there's
Read
no-
magic is a
exactly
skill and ability.
right.
Well,
right.
for a fighter, it makes great toilet paper.
Yes, but that's not a
You bastard.
yes. But when it's known that it's magic,
It is known, Khaleesi.
is oh good Lord in heaven.
It took like 3 episodes to make the first Game of Thrones reference.
Oh, I'm actually just surprised it wasn't You Know Nothing. Jon Snow wasn't the first one.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked we went with the Khaleesi one first.
Anyway, I'd have for example, I threw a magical scimitar into the first mod, mostly because we had a druid who used a scimitar, and my sister's character used a scimitar. But also, there was a suit of leather that applied to both of them and 2 other characters. There was, a shield that could apply to both, and like 4 other characters.
This is why Hanzo was there, not to pick up either weapons, armor, or shields.
What'd you wind up getting?
I think I got my Ring of Protection back.
Did you get the ring of protection or the cloak of protection?
Something.
No,
I had a ring of protection.
you got ring of protection.
Yeah.
Being a mage was rather useful.
The witch got the cloak of protection.
Yeah.
I got something.
You weren't around when I did the items, and I had to MacGuffin something for you.
Okay, yeah, and you gave me my ring of
That's
protection.
right. I
back.
gave
Yeah.
you Hanzo's original Ring of Protection back.
Now there's, yeah.
Also, the Jon Snow reference. I believe you, Crash, made a character based on Jon Snow,
No.
and I didn't travel along with him enough to rub that in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crash. No. What happened was Crash actually ran Jon Snow in Trinity as some portal opened up and he ended up in this new world or whatever. He lasted for like half a module of the Isle of Trinity and then he buggered off in place of.
The thing was the Isle of Trinity. Now, a lot of
Rick Mark
times
1.
we talk, like, we have issues with people bringing characters in and bringing characters out. That's an issue we have, probably other groups have. The issue, I don't like it, but the reason I kept doing it is my original character, I made a scout. Scouts suck. The Dungeon Magazine scouts suck.
Okay, but
I can't use any of my abilities unless I'm 30 feet away from the party, and the party's never going to let me 30 feet away from them.
right.
And if I do, and I'm sneaking off and being all secretive and 30 feet away and I get shanked in the back,
Yeah.
well, no one's there to help me.
Yeah, basically, and you know we talked earlier about things that we wanted to cover, of things that like we wanted to kind of put a kibosh to, and I think this would be the perfect moment for them. For example, Crash, and I'm right alongside with you. Mages are not. No, you had the issue with people saying it's not worth playing a fighter.
Yeah.
Who was saying that?
There's a giant misconception within the role-playing community that the fighter is just there to be its bodyguard. Why play a fighter when you can play a ranger, or barbarian, or paladin, or cavalier, or all these other different things?
Yeah.
Why be a fighter?
I look at it plain and simple. The fighter levels faster than both the paladin and the ranger. Fighter only needs 2,000 experience. Ranger needs 2,500. Believe 2,500.
So
Paladin needs 2,250.
Well, strictly speaking, from AD&D
Yeah.
reference, yeah.
Yeah.
Because with fighters, they get their 1800 roll if they get an 18 in strength,
Well,
and also too they get their double proficiency.
well, but also in the original AD&D version, the one that we normally play, all fighter, even the subclasses, Ranger and Paladin, also get the 1,800 roll.
now we're not.
In second edition, they changed it. They gave the Rangers some different abilities. They gave the Paladin
And
some different
When
abilities.
you look at stuff like Pathfinder 3.5, or especially Pathfinder,
Yeah.
why you would play a fighter over there over a paladin and stuff is, one, paladin has a code. Whatever alignment or deity or domain
Paladin's
he
got a code of honor.
worships, he must follow that
Yeah.
to the letter, or he loses what makes him a paladin.
Yeah.
He loses his
Rangers, to a lesser extent, the same thing. They have to be,
Ranger,
especially first edition, where they have to be good aligned.
Yeah.
And
and the minute
and if you, the minute you're not, you're a glorified fighter.
You're a 8-hit die fighter. You lose all your Ranger abilities. Everything that makes you a Ranger, you lose. The bonus damage on Giant Class, gone. The tracking ability, gone. The passing without a trace, gone. It
Now, like I said, newer editions, you look at the fighter. What does the fighter get that a lot of other things don't? So many more martial style skills, feats.
they get more.
They're what a fighter is a fighter need not be a grand knight like a paladin or an expert marksman or a man of the wild like a ranger. But a fighter and his weapon, that's what he is. He holds that weapon, he wields that weapon,
He eats, sleeps,
breathes
shits
that weapon.
weapon.
And that makes
It's
him
hurt.
that makes him.
Yeah,
One
you try to pass a sputum.
I don't
Well,
care.
if it's shaft first, it's not so bad. The other way, there's those little hooks that come out.
Yeah.
There might be things a little interesting.
Now, I don't care that wizards can throw lightning and fire, and clerics can, cast divine death from the heavens and
Yes.
raise the dead, and
Well, yeah, but
all
the
this
thing
other
is,
stuff. But the fighter who takes his sword, he shrugs your shit, and stabs you through the chest.
although the one issue is fighters save like balls.
Fighters.
They have the hardest time saving, mostly because they're not trained in any other thing than sword and board.
But when they close the gap,
Oh yeah, when they close
It's game
when they
over.
close the bash, the gap, you're done. Game over. End of story.
Yeah.
One that I want to squash is that Rangers always have to be bow all the time. I hate that people look at a Ranger and say, "It's a Ranger. You gotta always use the bow."
They confuse that with that name because range in the title. Oh, it must be this.
Yeah, no,
Assumption.
I took the double specialization for AD&D version 1 in the longsword. So on top of the bonuses from double specialization, because I'm an elf, I get the bonus to hit because I'm a bloody elf. I looked at what the game gave me and I went, you know what? Range is great to have for backup, but a lot, I'm looking at how,
It's actually a flaw in the D&D system. I
It-
feel that the range is not,
yeah,
and it's because you're standing a distance away. So there are certain things that
mhm.
you
Well, and
may use claws or teeth or fight like a
yeah,
swordsman does, and they can't hit you. So they penalize you for playing smart.
yeah, basically.
but there's another thing with that too is, you can have the bow, put it aside, grab your sword, and fight. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But you can also have ranged weapons that aren't the bow. Longfellow Deeds. His melee weapon is a longsword. He's an elf. He gets that +1.
Mhm.
His ranged weapons, however, are spears.
I've got Logan.
He's single specialized in throwing spears.
Yeah, I have Logan. He's a human ranger who, I think he also took his specialization in sword only because that was the age that I was at when I made Logan. But even though he has the double specialization in sword, his main weapon, the one he will stand in the back for days and use his light crossbow. But I didn't take the single specialization in in the ranged weapon because the ranged single specialization is broken. It is extremely broken, and I will probably never make a character that uses it.
Power at quick pace. Single. Noah can attest. Single specialized in short bow.
Yeah.
The single specialization in a ranged weapon becomes extreme. You can essentially have a dagger. So a thrown small knife.
Yeah.
That does at its max 1d4. Do 3 in one round with throwing. I think it's 3 daggers. You can essentially do more than a fighter can do on one swing with double specialization and 1800 strength.
Yeah.
Purely because of a single specialization. The ruling on that is so broken, it is stupid.
Oh, it even gets worse with darts, as Smiley can attest to and give you the facts.
That's the one Smiley was
Yeah.
talking about, was the dart, not the dagger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Smiley.
you can throw so many per.
Yeah, it's
Per one round.
it's you throw at base, you throw 2 per round. Okay, well then when it goes up, you can all of a sudden throw 4 per round, then 6 per round. Basically, it won't. By the time you get a really high level, you're throwing 8 darts a round.
Yeah. And, we're still somewhat on our original subject, and thinking back to that too is if you're doing all this stuff and you really you've got a party, they're individualized, but they're not party. You're running this game and you feel like your group is a group of individuals out because they have so many different branching goals.
They're the Avengers before Coulson dies.
Yes, you can take something, maybe something from a character's backstory that one of your players told you, and twist that to bring that character more involved, as Noah did with said Valric and his Isle of Trinity, where he tied my character Valric Quickpace directly to the fate of the island, forcing me to team up with these people. And when you force a person, not necessarily force, but when you encourage a player, to get his character involved with this group, lastly you create the camaraderie once you think of an adventuring party. Because Ralph Parsons right. It's not just we all know each other, or hey, we walk into a tavern. Hey, we're in a tavern. Yeah, there's a bunch of us here for a job. Let's go do this job. You might be like, well, it's safer that a group of 4 or 5 or 6 of us go do this job together. But that doesn't mean you walk out as friends. You walk out as 4, 5, 6 strangers that don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
That's how you guys started my mod. Was where there were a few people that kind of threw their backstories of, I know you from the past. But
That's one of the things when I carry over when it comes to characters. Like, if I play with a character, I don't care what DM you are. You ain't telling me that I don't know this person.
well, yeah,
Or
exactly.
You don't always need to start it in a bar, like the way we started DC Heroes, where they actually first everybody met each other through an encounter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
through a jailbreak. Through a
jailbreak.
supervillain jailbreak.
And one of the party members was actually an occupant of that jail.
Yeah,
Hi.
no,
Hi.
where
I-
Noah
I-
was in the jail as a prisoner.
I worked at
Bucky
the jail.
was the jail as a guard. Raul Partha comes as a hero to
Yeah,
save
I was
the
just a
day.
responder.
Yeah.
Smiley comes crashing through
Through my cell,
to try and save the day.
and he looks at me and he goes, "Aren't you going to try and break out?" I said, "Nope, I'm here reading my book," and I just continue flipping through
And
the
Smiley's
pages.
just like, okay, and just
Yeah.
breaks down his door and keeps going.
Well, I think that
And
was.
it's not, if you don't want to do a lot of like, oh well, you don't want to spend so much time RPing things to make them group, try and give that group command, you could do something like that. Well, right away, you're against an adversary that you can't beat alone, which forces you to team up with these people you don't necessarily know, to work together.
Yeah.
Like it forced, it kind of made Wild Partha and Smiley work together, or they really didn't work together, as Smiley's like, I'm stealing this.
No, we had very differing personalities and differing viewpoints.
Yeah, but by the end of the whole Heroes thing, you still had differing viewpoints.
Oh, of course, but that's the thing where
Mhm.
the party dynamic, where if you have different people with different viewpoints and going different ways, sparks fly and things get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just not to the point that you're so
You're so
You're
worked
so
up, you're coming to
opposed.
blows.
you're so opposed that you're not a party. You're a
Mix of chaos.
You're a riot. You're a riot in progress because you're all freaking going after each other instead of doing what you're trying to be doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also brings the phrase, "Nobody screws with us but us."
And another weird example of an interesting party dynamic is the current run game,
Iron Kingdoms or Star Wars?
Dawn of Defiance, Star Wars, the 10-part Star Wars adventure.
Yeah, that's.
We are 9 out of 10 adventures through this campaign, and the party still isn't really
We're
friends or a party yet.
some of us are, like my character Riskin has has the mutual respect of the Jedi in the group,
Mostly because it's you don't want to piss off the Jedi.
Well, no, mostly because it's, we crash landed. Who do I, the Kushibin hops onto me and holds onto me. I'm grabbing the meditating Zabrak.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but then we have other things like Gressic, who's the same Gressic from 9
Well-
Adventures Ago.
and that it's that role where somebody grabs the role of the outcast.
Yeah.
They play outside the party. And then there are some times when everybody's looking to play the outcast, and then you get a party of a collection of just a motley crew. It's like,
Like Noah.
it's like
Noah
which
has
one of
an
us the
interesting
outcast?
character
None of
in
you.
that.
Noah runs a Tusken Raider. I don't know.
Taka.
I named him Daka right after how Vegeta yells Daka Daka. I thought it was the funniest thing because I'm reading the names they suggest in the book for Tusken Raider names, and they're just like Raja or Rakek, and they're just like syllables or whatever with apostrophes. So, and for some weird reason, I went to like DBZ Abridged and just like Daka Daka, and I'm just like, that would be funny, but I would go like, I don't want to be called Daka Daka. I'm gonna refer to him as Daka Daka, and add apostrophes in.
Well,
Taka and Tuki Tuki.
Kaka Kaka. I believe that Kaka Kaka and Tuki Tuki don't work. Yeah.
also with friends, even though I don't like Call of Duty, I know people that do. I had almost really irresistible urge to refer to him as, Durka Durka. That's Durka Durka Muhammad Jihad. It's like, great. Now we got a space Arab.
That is true. Taka does refer to the rest of the group as hello outside infidels.
Yup.
Outsider infidels.
Outsider infidels.
Yeah.
Literally refers to the people he's been traveling with for about 2.5 years now as infidels.
I think the only members of our party who don't have, actually, like, have the outcast story.
Smiley kind of does.
Smiley does so far as he made a white Wookiee.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that his backstory and my character's backstory were both on a Sullust, Empire mine or whatever.
Yeah.
And we broke out together, so that's why, we're tolerable of each other.
Same with Slash and Rampartha. They're both Jedi, so they.
Yeah, so we already knew each other.
Yeah. But, me, I was like, no, I decided the occupation of a scout. That's kind of how I wound up here.
And then you get Riskin and Gressic.
Gressic, he's the outsider in our party, our crew,
Yeah.
strike team. I don't know what the hell to call us.
You have a gun and you shoot.
I'm the sniper.
So you have a gun and you shoot.
Yeah, you have a Gatling gun and you shoot.
Yes, a heavy Gatling gun.
Okay.
He doesn't shoot, he murders.
You shoot chaos. I shoot precision.
Actually,
We're the
pretty freaking
flip-
precise on that thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing is
Mhm.
basically him and I are the flip side of a gunner.
Mhm.
Yeah, but unless I'm shooting at a Sith, I'm more than likely hit as well.
Yeah.
Well, he's not saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that I'm more likely to hit. It's just
Mhm.
I do the precise pinpoint damage. You do the overall body shots.
Review. This is just a quick note. This may not have to do as much, but as you're letting your players, create these backstories and then around with their characters. Always check characters before you start, and always make sure you have a full grasp of the rules, because then you get.
Nikolai, his name is Death.
We
Yeah.
covered that
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
referring
because
more
we
to Kung Fu Wookiee.
Yeah.
Nothing about the Kung Fu Wookiee is outside the rules. He's
Yeah,
100%
exactly.
within the rules.
Yeah.
Once again,
he's broken
Smiley's
his
ability
shit.
to size up a situation
Yeah.
or
Game.
game, whatever you want to call whatever,
Having a high-powered Inquisitor.
and it's like, oh, I can do this, and I can combine it with this and this and this, and suddenly he's a handful.
Like having an Inquisitor who's supposed to be a big threat to the party, and force lightning, and then with a dodge and a defensive attack, with his dodge roll and throwing a stormtrooper he was using as a shield at the thing,
At the
rolling
Inquisitor.
a 20, and then confirming the crit, because he confirms the crit on a 12 or higher on a 20-sided die,
No.
and going,
He rolled a 20
and then a 17.
and then a 17. When he's got somebody grappled,
Mm-hmm.
I think his crit goes up to 12. Naturally, his
Seven.
crit range is 17 to
But
20.
it's one of those things where it's like, that shouldn't be a thing.
Oh, just as a side note or whatever, like when I was reading up Tusken Raiders, they essentially sound like they're xenophobic, and how like pretty much all these other races just popped up on Tatooine. That's why he kind of refers to off-worlders as like infidels and that. It's not a race thing or whatever. I don't know, just a thing that just popped in my head just after kind of describing him. He just generally hates other races, he hates other alien races and that, just because they came to his homeland. And oh yeah, cool side note about Daka is that his original like tribe area group of people originally inhabited the lands of Mos Eisley,
Yeah.
and then his people got sent away. But just kind of bringing it back to the whole character thing and that, I think one of the more important things, and this has been made mistakes in our group and has probably been made in other groups, and that when you're running like character backgrounds and things like that, make sure you check it out with your DM or your GM or the guy running your game, because there has been many times where all of a sudden these backstory issues all of a sudden pop up, and the GM is just looking very confused, wondering where like what this is and why is it coming out of left field.
For a prime example, running my game, won't mention names, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, can we meet the king? No,
Oh.
you need to, you know, you need to be like actually important to just meet the king. I'm a prince,
What?
and the whole room went
You're what?
deadpan. I just turned to the player and go, "You're a what? Excuse me? I'm a prince. Since when? Since always." And I looked at this guy and I went, "Hand me your character sheet. Show me where it says you're a prince, and I'll believe you." And it wasn't anywhere. And he was like, "Well, because it's my backstory." I'm like, "Dude, something like you're a prince for backstory definitely needs to go on your sheet, and definitely needs to be mentioned to a DM before you start."
My Iron Kingdom's character, before he even played a session, I went to Gressick and I said, this character, I want him to be a current Lee's Resistance member, officer. However, he's a deserter of another army. So it's, I'm telling bits of my backstory, but because my backstory is integral could be entwined with the plot, and then
Right.
the characters within the plot, and within the party, it's something you should always clear with your DM.
Mhm.
Don't just be like, don't just be like, hey, randomly just be like, oh yeah, did you know I'm like 15th heir to the throne of, Eberron? It's like, you are?
Yeah.
No,
What? Excuse
no.
me?
Also, by sharing the stuff with your DM, or sometimes even players outside the game, sometimes your DM can, tie
Enhance.
that hook into their story and take it to a whole nother level. And they actually have something for you when you come to the table.
Such as Cotter, and when I played Collected Pathfinder, we had that whole neat thing going.
And also too with Ollivander and Trinity with the Black Talon Mercenary Corps.
Yep.
Yep. Alright. Well, I think we're running low on this subject matter
Yeah.
here, so
Fuel's starting to run thin.
Well,
fuel's
it's
starting to run thin, so
we've what we've been reporting now for
pretty much 2 hours.
Yeah. So
It's
we're now gonna jump into our our fan-based Q&A session.
Oh, we have a question.
Oh.
Hey! Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, fans! Thank you, fans. Who's it from?
So it's from Twitter at AnimeLover44632.
Ah, Anime Lover. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Wicked.
okay.
Hope I
Alrighty,
said
right.
that right.
I am
This
excited.
is new because I asked you earlier any new questions. You were like, no.
There wasn't any new earlier.
Oh, well,
Really?
okay.
Aha,
Same.
wicked.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome. Okay.
interesting.
All right. So
Timing.
This is my absolute favorite part of the podcast.
what?
This is
What
great.
is the question?
What is your question?
So-
Years of making.
This person's question is, this person asks us
Uh-oh.
individually, what is each of our favorite class to play?
Oh.
Maybe we should have given more time on this one.
Ah, yes.
Do we have 3 hours? Like.
Noah's got the fist pumping. I think he's raring to go first.
I adore running clerics. Clerics are awesome and fun and everything, but
You're going thief.
yeah, I have to go with the shenanigans, the chicanery, the being able to just
The cannery, I like it.
yeah, just being
Good
able
word.
to just sneak around and bugger with things. You can set traps, you can unset traps, you can lock things, you can unlock things. I think my favorite thing to do is to unlock something, take something out, set a trap in it, relock it, and bugger off somewhere to let someone else find it. It is.
I have to do it. Hey, Noah. That lock you're picking, there's a string.
Oh, that is the bane of every thief's existence, right there.
Oh.
Boiling it down. And okay, DMs, GMs, take note right here. You really want to get your player base really nervous. Like, I mean, you want them to sweat bullets. Tell them there's a string. Just say that.
Orin did it to us. I sat there watching both my sister and Crash deal with the string in the locked door or the locked chest or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
like 45 minutes.
And also
Oh.
follow up on this sometimes because if I know that Lucky has pulled to the point it's like he's always smiling. It's like
Yeah.
it's a string
Yeah.
before he can even say it's a string.
But the thing is, though,
And I'm ready to kick in the door. It's like, oh, well then it's not a trap. Boom.
But the thing is, though, is that it's not just saying it's a string. It's just trying to lead that player into the idea of there's something there. They don't know what it is, but it's there.
Suspense.
Oh, it is just the essence of just pure fun, where you don't know if that is an actual trap, if that thing's gonna explode in your face and blow up all your magic items, or if all of a sudden you're just like, no, it's your eyelash that's in the keyhole or whatever, you know? It's just the way you portray it, and you can be as grave and as cryptic as you want to be with it. You know, like, drag it out as long as you can to get every ounce of that suspense in there. And that will get players to remember those moments. And
Example,
that's why I like
another
to play
thing, too,
thieves.
When the thief goes up and he's like, I'm gonna, remove trap, disarm this trap, don't tell the player that they did it. Be like, you are pretty positive that you disarmed that trap,
Yeah.
because it always gives that little bit of doubt. Like, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as I know, you've unlocked the door.
Hide in shadows and move silently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, Noah, when we ever get back to you running Trinity,
Yeah.
stop snapping sticks. If you're just gonna give it away for my thief character that easily,
Yeah.
I might as well roll my own percentages.
Yeah.
So give me a little suspense next time.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Make me nervous.
That's
Yeah, no, I like to say, okay, and just leave it at that. And then when they go to move, I say, okay, as you take your first step, creak, 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 creak.
Alright.
Start walking through, and all of a sudden,
Alright, we move on to Lucky. Lucky's favorite class.
Are we allowing multi-class characters?
Single class.
Multi-class.
well, hey, I suggested that I liked playing clerics, but I really love playing thieves. So if you want to go that route,
Well, it's again, clerics, lots of fun.
yeah,
Rangers, probably been the one thing that I play all the time.
you have like 42 of them.
When you put them together,
Oh yeah, go
it is
Ranger
beautiful.
cleric.
I've always had a lot of fun with Rangers, mostly because you get the tracking and the stuff. On the downside, when you're inside, your abilities kind of fall short, and essentially you're just left being an 8-hit die fighter anyway, at lower levels.
Ah, Lucy and Goldenleaf, welcome to the Underdark.
Hey,
This
the
Boar's
Underdark
voice
was his
follows
friend. The Underdark wasn't too bad for a while. Until
Until-
lost that Vorpal.
Yeah. Oh.
You had to mention the Vorpal.
Underdark, I didn't get to take the Vorpal into the Underdark.
Yeah.
I
No?
lost the Vorpal before we went into the spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh.
We all fire giants because we were trying to get a ring of regeneration or whatever.
And yes,
Yeah.
people,
It was the
Yes.
same time we lost the bag of
we
holding.
we are referring to fantasy games, Andro World, and everything else. And yes, we did just say spaceship.
Spaceship.
It exists.
Oh no!
It exists.
Experience, Beige. You're back.
Dang.
There's only one. There's only the one
You wanted the spaceship.
module
You get
series.
punished.
I don't know if it's one mod specifically or if it's like there's a different mod for each level of the ship.
No, it's all one thing. Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. It's
Okay, I
Yeah.
Expedition to Barrier Peaks, first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. There's a spaceship. Go
Yep.
look it up.
spaceship.
Spaceship crash. Spaceship crashed into the side of the mountain. Elithids.
Vegapygmies.
Vegapygmies. Well, I think we called them Vegapygmies. We never actually got
No,
their
no, they're-
actual name.
Yeah, they were actually called Vegapygmies.
Oh, they're actually called. Okay.
Yeah.
We call them Shriekers.
Yeah, shrieker mushrooms. Yeah.
I believe there's an intellect devour somewhere in there.
Yeah, and robots. Lots and lots of
Lots of robots and grenades.
Oh, grenades.
Oh.
The grenades are so much fun.
Oh, you can also get like laser pistols and like these photon.
Don't even
rifles.
talk to me about the needle gun.
Oh, and the
I
needle
don't wanna hear
guns.
about the needle guns.
Don't forget the needle guns.
Needle guns are helpful though.
Yeah,
Not when fighting dragons.
yeah, when they're armor class 0, because the needles are based on the armor class for damage.
So,
But yeah, it's Crash Noah. Noah wants to slug Noah.
What else is new?
No,
So-
it's
But getting back to your favorite class.
definitely for me, I tend to do a lot of Rangers. I'm slowly moving away from Rangers, just like solo Ranger as a Ranger, because a lot of mods don't have a lot of outdoor travel time. So there aren't opportunities to track, there aren't opportunities to pass unseen, there aren't opportunities to use a lot of the abilities that I get. I've started leaning more towards some of the different classes. Like I'd like to reboot my Paladin in a mod. I'd like to start playing either of my two Bounty Hunters more often. Wouldn't mind playing a Thief again. Because I've got a fair number of those. Also, I got a couple of Druids that I'd like to reboot.
I've wanted to play a druid, but the way I just see it, I'm just running the dude through D&D.
so your goal for adventuring is? That was your favorite rug?
Yeah,
Is to find a rug to pull the room together. Well, there you
to
go.
pull the
it
woods
really pulled the room together.
together. Yes.
Alright.
Also, too, Lucky's going to be looking for rangers of the powered variety because he needs teens with attitude. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Wow, you're really
Oh.
you're digging into your bag of puns for that one.
Just a bit, just a bit.
There we go. Well,
Hey, Ral, what do you like to play?
what do I like to play? Considering everything I've played is been one of each so far. I try to shy away from the fighter, even though there are always cases, no matter what I'm playing, that I want to go up and beat the snot out of something.
Kazan.
Oh,
Kazan is your fighter.
He's pure fighter. Iron Kingdoms or not, he is still pure fighter.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about multi-class. Mostly it's one, I'm trying to get the feel for the classes I'm playing, so putting two classes just confuses the issue.
Yep.
On top of that, it's almost an identity issue when I pick a class. He's a ranger, that's what he is. He's a fighter, that's what he is. So there's that. So from RP perspective, I'm trying to nail it down. And then I have those things, the class of elf, or the race elves, that there are certain ideas that override, persist in my head. Paladins, barbarians, rangers, and wizards. And on some cases, monks being kick-ass martial artists, even though it's a stereotype. I can visualize that.
Yeah.
All told, though, I think I really do like playing a wizard. It kind of frustrates me when people do the very thing that I would do to go up and smack something. It's like, but I had something for that. I had a spell. I was going to get them with this, and now this guy's in the way. But yeah, I would say overall wizards, though I have played a lot of characters and different outside of D&D's things that have those thief-like qualities, so they're really fun to play too.
Just the idea of just going yoink.
What's that line from the gamers?
I don't want to take his pants. I just want to know if I can.
Yeah, I just want to know if I can steal them.
Hey,
No.
Crash, what do you like to play?
Well, Crash, the wizard. I'm not actually a huge fan of wizards, mostly because they are really squishy, and when I tend to get a little too chaotic, I get most
Also-
people being like, "Hey, that was a little too close," or
Why did you
I'm
kill
on
me
fire, I'm on
again?
fire,
Okay,
I'm on
okay,
fire."
okay. You gotta remember, you weren't the best at placing your fireballs. That was partly your fault and partly your inexperience with said spell.
This is why Noah runs around with a spell immunity fireball.
And then there's those times where I mix it up and throw ice storm.
Yeah, and then it gets really cold.
Well, you know, La
But-
Fortuna's not a big fan of lightning bolt.
But this raises
NPCs, Sunny,
Yep.
and in the short time period, he's been hit with many lightning bolts.
This raises
Shocking.
why the mage is
Shut up,
called
it's
a
not shocking,
class
Graf,
candidate. Because they can't wear any metal that messes with the arcane of the spell. Although 5e, all of a sudden mages can wear chainmail. Thanks, Wizards of the Coast.
Oh,
No. You need proficiencies to wear the chainmail, so you have to multi-class, but instantly you can cast spells when you do it, so it's...
Yeah, you could multi-class and still cast
Anyway.
spells all along. You still had to strike.
But 5e stuff aside, Crash.
So, by far, my favorite classes to play are fighters. You know, I like barbarians, I like paladins, rangers, those are cool. I like the fighter. Because the fighter doesn't need to be outside to do his stuff. He doesn't need to worship a god and follow a strict code to do stuff. He doesn't need to be a hulking barbarian. Sometimes it's fun to be a hulking barbarian. But barbarians can't wear good armor, so that's an issue.
And the magic weapon.
But sometimes it's nice to just have this guy who's clad in chainmail or plate, and maybe he's a big half orc, who's a huge magical halberd, and runs through one of Lucky's modules with Sunny's character, Geragna, having a Legolas Gimli contest throughout the entirety of the adventure.
Yeah. That's 1. Yeah? I'm on 4 already. Damn it!
Still only counts as
I
one.
actually
It
do
still only
like
counts as
playing
1.
big fighters. I don't like fighters that use a shield or a sword. I like playing fighters with big strengths, good con, and usually big ass pull weapons.
He doesn't fight with honor. The dead guy did.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
two Game of Thrones references.
So
Why be?
ah.
It's sometimes fun to be the honorable knight, but sometimes it's fun to be the guy that's like, you're right. He did fight with honor, but I won. Because you wanna know why? Because I'm the guy. When the smoke clears, I'm the guy standing on top of the pile of dead bodies, with my weapon covered in whatever that thing's blood is, going, I win.
Good. You can clean up the mess when you're done.
No, it's the wizard's job.
Alright! You're gonna regret this.
Oh, what's that? You're still standing on the pile of money? Too bad. Fireball.
Cremation.
So, we hope you enjoyed episode 3. When I get it uploaded,
Thank you. Please send more questions. This is my favorite part, personally. I love this bit.
if we get enough questions,
We should do a Q&A period.
Oh, can we, please?
we can do a
Send
full-
questions. Send 50 billion questions.
Okay, not 50 billion questions. Dude, we'd be here all...
40 billion questions.
Seriously?
We're
What?
getting there.
We're just gonna go for over 8,000.
Alright, well,
It's over 9,000. Screw this 8,000 bullshit.
so,
Translate it properly.
this is Crash the Dimwitted,
This is Noah.
This is Lucky.
I'm Ralph Partha.
and we wish you all happy gaming, and have a nice weekend.
Boosh.
Woo, whoosh.